Welcome to today's lesson on population structure, a crucial concept in human geography. Population structure refers to how a population is composed in terms of age and gender, usually shown through a tool called a population pyramid. These pyramids help us visualize and analyze how populations change over time, whether they're growing, aging, or shrinking. In this lesson, we'll explore how population structures differ between developed and developing countries, what these differences tell us about birth and death rates, and how governments respond through population policies. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to interpret population pyramids, identify trends, and explain the causes and consequences of different population structures. Let's dive in and unpack what population structure reveals about the past, present, and future of societies around the world. Welcome to our lesson on population structure. In this session, we'll explore how the composition of populations, by age and gender, can tell us powerful stories about a country's past, present, and future. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to, first, define population structure and understand how it reflects demographic composition. You'll learn to read population pyramids, recognizing features of youthful, aging, and balanced populations. We'll then compare different pyramid types, seeing how shapes differ in more economically developed countries, less economically developed countries, and newly industrializing countries. You'll also analyze real-world examples, applying your skills to interpret actual data from various nations. Finally, we'll see how this knowledge links to economic planning and why understanding population structure is critical for governments when planning healthcare, education, housing, and jobs. Let's dive in and build the skills to decode the stories that populations tell.
Population structure, also known as age-sex composition, refers to how a population is divided by age groups and gender at a specific point in time. This breakdown offers a detailed snapshot of who makes up a society, from children and working-age adults to the elderly, and whether they are male or female. Why does this matter? Understanding population structure helps governments and planners make critical decisions. For instance, a country with a large youth population may need to invest heavily in schools and pediatric health care, while a country with an aging population must prepare for increased demand in elder care and pensions. The most effective way to visualize this data is through something called a population pyramid. These charts not only show the current structure, but also help predict future demographic trends, which we'll explore next. So let's dive deeper and learn how to read and analyze these powerful tools.
A population pyramid is a powerful visual that displays the age and sex structure of a population. On the horizontal axis, we have the number or percentage of people. Males are typically shown on the left and females on the right. The vertical axis lists age groups in 5-year intervals, starting from the youngest at the bottom to the oldest at the top. But there's more than just bars and numbers here. The shape of the pyramid tells a demographic story. A wide base suggests high birth rates, while a narrow base signals lower fertility. A tall, evenly shaped pyramid may indicate higher life expectancy, while unusual bulges or gaps can point to historical events like wars or migration waves. By studying these pyramids, we can also calculate dependency ratios, showing how many young or elderly people depend on the working-age population. This information is vital for planning things like schools, healthcare, pensions, and housing. In short, population pyramids are more than just graphs. They are windows into a nation's past, present, and future. Understanding how population structures vary around the world helps us see how countries grow, develop, and plan for the future. Let's begin with LEDCs, like Uganda. Their pyramids have a classic triangular shape, wide at the base indicating high birth rates, and rapidly narrowing upwards due to high death rates and low life expectancy. This shape reveals a young population with significant challenges in healthcare and sanitation. Next, we move to MEDCs, such as the UK or Japan. These pyramids resemble a barrel or urn. The base is narrow, showing low birth rates, while the middle and top are wider, reflecting long life expectancy and excellent health care. These countries often face an aging population, with implications for pensions, health care, and the labor market. By comparing these shapes, we can understand how economic development influences population structure, and how population structure, in turn, shapes national priorities.
Population pyramids aren't static. They evolve over time, shaped by powerful demographic forces. Let's begin with birth rate. A high birth rate results in a wide base on the pyramid, showing a large number of young children. Lower birth rates, often influenced by better education, access to contraception, and changing cultural norms, narrow the base. Moving up the pyramid, we have the death rate. In countries with poor health care or sanitation, higher death rates cause the pyramid to narrow sharply at younger ages. But as nutrition, medical care, and sanitation improve, more people survive longer, widening the pyramid's upper sections. Next is life expectancy. As people live longer due to advancements in medicine and improved living conditions, the pyramid stretches upward. A broader top means a larger elderly population, something we see clearly in more developed countries. And then there's migration. When people move into a country, especially working-age adults, it creates a bulge in the middle of the pyramid. On the other hand, emigration, people leaving, can create a noticeable indentation. Consider this. A severe economic downturn causes many young adults to leave a country. The result? A visible pinch in the 20 to 35 age group. Or think of the aftermath of war. Mass male casualties may permanently skew the gender balance in affected age groups. Each of these factors, births, deaths, longevity, and migration, sculpt the story of a nation's population, revealing its past and shaping its future.
Population structure isn't just a chart on a page, it's a window into a country's future. The shape of a population pyramid tells us what challenges and opportunities a nation is likely to face. Let's look at two contrasting examples. First, countries like Japan or Germany have an aging population. This means a growing proportion of elderly citizens. With more retirees and fewer workers, the government faces rising pension costs. Healthcare systems also experience greater strain, especially in long-term elderly care. As the working-age population shrinks, labor shortages can develop, slowing economic growth. Even innovation may suffer, as younger generations, often drivers of change, make up a smaller share of the population. On the other hand, countries like Nigeria or India experience what we call a youth bulge, a very large young population. This can put pressure on the education system, requiring more schools, teachers, and resources. If the economy fails to generate enough jobs, youth unemployment can rise, sometimes leading to crime or political unrest. But there's a silver lining. If this youthful population is well-educated and gainfully employed, it can create a demographic dividend, a powerful boost to economic productivity and growth. In short, the structure of a population determines the direction of national policy, from education to health to pensions and employment. Understanding it helps us see how countries must adapt to meet their people's needs.
Great job! You've just completed an insightful journey into population structure, one of the key concepts in IGCSE Geography. We've explored how age and gender distribution shapes a country's challenges and opportunities, from youth bulges in developing nations to aging populations in developed ones. At Marvid Academy, we believe in turning knowledge into understanding. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to subscribe to the Marvid Academy channel, like this video, and share it with fellow learners. Your next geography adventure is just a click away. See you in the next lesson, only on Marvid Academy.